Good day, parents and guardians. Thank you for making the time for this briefing. Normally, we would be meeting you in school and in the presence of your children. However, due to the prevailing national posture on COVID-19, we have adapted to the new normal by broadcasting this briefing online. Before we begin with the briefing proper, it would be good if your child sits with you through this briefing.
In the next half hour or so, I will be sharing with you the learning experiences that your child will go through this year in Primary 3. Students call me Mr. Faisal. I am the year head for Middle Primary and I oversee student development programs in Primaries 3 and 4. As we go along, I will address some clarifications which parents have raised through the pre-briefing survey that was administered at the start of January. Let's begin.
In Guangyang Primary School, we believe that education extends beyond the academics and subject-specific domains into the areas of character, values, and citizenry education. And as part of our holistic approach to education, we have a range of programs, and these are shown on this slide. Most programs are held by the form teachers, but since Guangyang is a learning community, everyone in the school has a role to play in the character education of our students. Some of these programs are also helmed by subject teachers and even student leaders. Our then Minister of Education, Mr. Heng Swee Kiat, envisioned that our education system must nurture Singapore citizens of good character so that everyone has the moral resolve to withstand an uncertain future and a strong sense of responsibility to contribute to the success of Singapore and the well-being of fellow Singaporeans. Here, in Guangyang Primary School, we work towards our students being gracious citizens, confident leaders, lifelong learners, and innovative collaborators by the end of the 6-year journey with Guangyang Primary School. Co-curricular activities, or commonly referred to as CCA, is something new to the Primary 3 level, and students are generally excited about being in a CCA. In the pre-briefing survey, there were a number of clarifications sought on CCAs. These ranged from the range of CCA available and their schedule, enrolling processes, and CCA commitments. I have shared these with the Head of Department for Physical Education and CCA. And on 25th January, he has issued a letter via Parent Gateway to address most of these concerns. Beyond the contents of that letter, CCA is an integral part of holistic education in Guangyang Primary School, especially in the areas of character development and resilience. Through CCA participation, students interact with their peers across age groups and have a chance to learn CCA-specific skills. For most students, it is an opportunity to excel in areas beyond the academics. CCAs also serve as a means to build a portfolio towards direct school admissions, also known as DSA, for secondary school. For more information on DSA, parents may visit the relevant Ministry of Education website. Having looked at co-curricular activities, let's shift our focus to the academic programs. Like most primary schools, Primary 3 students study English language, mathematics, mother tongue language, and science, which is a new subject. And these lead to the primary school leaving examination at Primary 6. And of course, Primary 3 students also learn other subjects like physical education, music, art, and social studies. For these subjects, teachers employ differentiated teaching strategies during lessons to match the abilities of students. And the rigor increases as students progress towards the PSLE. For targeted group of students, there are remedial lessons and the School Dyslexic Remediation Program. Language learning aims to develop students to be confident users of the language. being able to use the language in speaking, listening, as well as writing. So, how can parents support language learning? Encourage your child to read books in a range of genres in both their mother tongue and English language, and have them read exemplars of good. Beyond reading, provide your child with opportunities to listen to and use the language, and expose them to authentic and good use of the language on television, radio, podcasts, and other platforms. This is an MOE website with resources curated for the learning of mother tongue languages. It would be good for parents to access this together with your child. As parents, you can develop in your child an interest in mathematics. Develop in your child a positive attitude towards mathematics by talking about mathematics in a positive way. You may play mathematics games with them. Help them see the relevance of mathematics learning by linking mathematical concepts to everyday life. For example, when you're shopping, talk about money. Ensure that your child knows the mathematics facts, as this will improve his computational speed. And all in all, encourage persistence, as some problems do take time to be solved. Science is a new subject introduced at Primary 3. From the list of science topics for Primary 3 shown in the slide, you would realize that they center around what is in the student's immediate surroundings. One parent wanted to clarify if indeed only 5 periods were allocated to science weekly. Yes, there are only 5 periods allocated to science weekly, which is why, just like any other subject, students must be prepared for each lesson. Primary 3 students are generally excited to learn about science, and some would have done quite a bit of reading prior to the lesson. Many are eager to share what they have discovered or their experiences with the class. Now, as parents, how can you sustain this interest? One good way is to expose your child to science resources and allow them to discover. This could be done through print and non-print materials, visits to science-rich venues, as well as watching documentaries. As with mathematics, there are ways for students to show their working when answering science questions. In class, students are taught to highlight key information to help them identify the question focus. Students are also taught to annotate, which is to write short notes or concepts learned from that topic. This helps in the crafting of their responses. The use of colored highlighters are also encouraged to help students identify patterns on diagrams. At the pre-briefing survey, there were a number of clarifications pertaining to assessments, and I shall now share how assessments and grading is done at Primary 3. At the start of each term, the school will issue a letter to all parents via Parent Gateway with details of the assessments for all subjects in that term. A sample of the letter for Term 1 is shown here. This was issued on 18 January. Details include the assessment schedule, scope of assessment, and nature of assessment. A copy of this is also made available on the school's website. Assessment is a formative process and serves to help identify areas in which students can improve. There are a range of assessments and they differ across subjects. There are in essence 2 types of assessments in Primary 3, pen and paper assessments, and alternative forms such as game-based assessment, formative tasks, checklists, and observations. Some parents have sought clarification with respect to the recent changes in PSLE grading system and subject-based banding. These will not be addressed at the Primary 3 briefing as we want students to focus on the joy of learning. Parents may access the Primary 4 and Primary 6 briefing videos for the information on PSLE and subject-based banding. At Primary 3, students are invited to participate in the Gifted Education Program screening exercise. Students who are shortlisted will then progress to the screening test. Parents, do note the dates in blue on the slide. It is not advisable for parents to engage your child in test preparation activities, as this would inflate your child's score and not reflect on his or her actual potential. As the program is highly demanding and intellectually rigorous, students who are not ready will struggle, possibly leading to a loss of confidence and impact their self-esteem. Let us now look at activities that Primary 3 students can look forward to this year. The Mother Tongue Language Fortnight allows students to learn about their mother tongue language beyond their textbooks. We used to invite parents for a showcase at the end of the fortnight, but due to the current national posture on COVID-19, the school will leverage on technology to allow parents to view your child's performances online. There will be a number of opportunities for students to showcase to an audience, be it large or small. The intent is to build confidence in students to perform to a live audience. Prior to each performance, feedback is given to motivate and encourage students to improve. As parents, you might want to encourage your child to take up the challenge and showcase his or her talents in music, dance, singing, art, or other areas. These performances also serve in building a portfolio for direct school admission into secondary schools, for example, School of the Arts. Primary 3 students will participate in the Guangyang Primary School Sports Carnival. The Sports Carnival is organized for all students as part of the Children's Day celebrations. Students will participate in team or individual games, and through the games develop and apply Olympic values of friendship, respect, and excellence. Primary 3 students will be introduced to inline skating through a one-day skating clinic. Students will learn the fundamentals and safety aspects of the sport. The intent of the sports education program is to promote sports as a lifelong leisure activities for students, as well as learning sports outside of the PE syllabus. Print making is another highlight for Primary 3. This will take place as part of their art curriculum. Students will learn the essential skills in printmaking and produce their own artwork. Project work is another program that all Primary 3 students look forward to. It takes place over 5 days and students work in groups on a project that heightens their awareness of local environmental concerns. They learn to look for, consolidate, and synthesize information into a coherent product before presenting it to a class audience. At the pre-briefing survey, there were several clarifications with regard to student leadership development. Guangyang Primary School presents each student with opportunities to lead their peers, be it at the class, CCA, or school levels, depending on their readiness. Teachers will assess students' ability and allow them to progress on the leadership development continuum at their own pace. Ultimately, through all these programs and activities, the school would like to instill the joy of learning in all students. It has been a month since school started. How is your child coping with school? Some students experience stress. Stress is part of life, and exposure to some stress can be good for our children. As they learn to toughen up and become more adaptable to change and handle difficulties. Parents want them to succeed and be happy in life. And it is good to know if our children are not coping well. Here are some signs to look out for. As you can see, many developmental activities have been planned for your child, and he or she may go through ups and downs. As parents, do give your child some space. Be a supportive parent by allowing your child to reflect and be guided in problem solving. Affirm your child's strengths and effort by celebrating both effort and successes. Give your child a voice and empower him in decision making. In school, your child will be interacting a lot with their form and subject teachers. You may contact your child's form teachers to inquire about the development of your child. And if you do need a face-to-face meeting with the teachers, please do have an appointment arranged, as teachers teach more than one class and subject. All in all, rest assured that beyond that level of support, there is a management team that looks into the holistic development and well-being of your child. They are myself, Year Head for Middle Primary, and the Assistant Year Head for Middle Primary, and we work closely with the Primary 3 form teachers. Both parents and the school have a singular aim of maximizing the potential of your child. And this is possible only with strong home-school partnership. Let us work together with your child at the center of it all. I do hope that this presentation has served its purpose of informing you of the developmental programs planned for your child in Primary 3, and that it has sufficiently addressed clarifications you might have. Do give us your honest feedback through the online feedback form accessible via this QR code. Thank you and have a good day.